2022. Paragraph 2. From the looks of the track records the runners are bringing, it's hard to argue with them. When the race kicks off Monday, April 18th, spectators will get a front row seat to a slew of Olympians, world record breakers, some local names you might recognize, and yes, some former marathon champions both in Boston and cities around the world. Now, let's go back. If you are a spectator at the Boston Marathon, you're getting a front. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the video. So for today's video, I hope you enjoyed the last episode of you guys about the Junior Olympic behind the scenes video. I had so much fun in that video going back with you guys and telling you guys all about what happened behind the scenes of all the races I told you guys about. As I told you guys in that video, those races never would have came together if it wasn't for all that amazing hard work, determination, and grit that we put into it. But it also wouldn't have happened if I didn't tell you if the stuff before and after the races didn't happen. So it wouldn't have happened if I didn't get the proper warm-up in, or I didn't keep my mind fresh for the race, or at night even I didn't get to bed early enough, or I didn't have the good dinner. So all those behind-the-scenes things, I really did love sharing them with you, because it kind of shows you, oh yeah, this is what has to happen behind the scenes of the races. Because in the Junior Olympic recap, we only talked about the races, and yes, that's the exciting part. But that follows up with a lot of questions, like, oh, what happened before the races? What happened after the races? What happened? What was all behind the scenes stuff? So it was so much fun to go back with you guys, tell you guys all about the behind the scenes stuff, and I had so much fun with it. You guys, so that's probably going to do it up for this first block of the intro, and now it's into our second block of the intro, the Target Race video. So in today's video, as you guys probably saw by the preview that I had in this video, I think it might be weird to you guys because this video, as you guys saw with it is actually labeled preview. We're going to be talking about or we're going to be previewing the Boston Marathon's men's and women's elite fields, and I'm going to be telling you guys who I think will come in first, second, and third for both the men and the women. Now, and maybe the top 3 Americans and top 3 overall. Now, you guys might be wondering, Michael, why is this out on Sunday? Well, I put it on Sunday because this isn't it is an official video, but like this is more of like a side video that I put up for you guys. We will have the regular schedule keep going. So I think I posted for you guys Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday last week. Comment on the live chat if you guys saw all those videos. I can't remember what they were right now on the spot, but I think I posted them for you guys. But yeah, so basically we're going to be having the regular video schedule, and then we're going to be having this one, which I put up as a separate video only because I didn't really have time to like squeeze it in with the video schedule, so I had to put it up as a separate video as a preview. So as I told you guys in the just a few moments ago, we're gonna be I'm gonna be discussing with you guys all the men's and women's elite fields for Boston, and who I think will come in top 3 overall for the men and women overall, and Americans, depending on how many Americans are in the field for the men and women, or whoever they mention in the article. So I have found this great article by Boston. I think it's bostonmagazine.com. Shout out to them for this awesome article. I did look it over a little bit. They do mention a few of the athletes in the article, so I will kind of be gauging off those athletes. They didn't mention every single athlete in the article, but the athletes who are in the article, I will be guessing who I think will come in top 3 American for those athletes, but only the athletes who are mentioned in the article most likely, unless I know others that will be in the race. But we will be basically just reading through the article straight through. We'll be reading all the athletes off, and then after we read through all the athletes, I will tell you guys what happened before, or no, sorry, not what happened before, during, after the race, who I think will win, or who I think will come in first, second, and third overall for the men and women, and then for the men's American side and for the women's American side. You guys, so that's probably going to do it up for this first block of the intro, or this intro of the video, and now it's into our first block of the video, reading and kind of just previewing the men's and women's elite fields for the Boston Marathon 2022. Alright guys, in this first block of the video, we're going to be kind of just reading and previewing the men's and women's elite field for the Boston Marathon. So as I told you guys in the last block, I did skim through this article a little bit. It is a great article. I'm pretty sure it gives some great information. I didn't really read the article full through, but I did skim it just a bit. So I know it has some pretty good information. And as always when we read articles, before we get started, I would just like to give a shout out to Boston Magazine. I know you guys are probably thinking, oh, it just says Boston and then City Life right here. But I know it does say that, but I actually did look up the name of the magazine. It is called the Boston Magazine. This article gives, as I keep telling you guys, it gives great information, great statistics on the athletes, great information all about the race itself. And it's not too long, actually, which is kind of nice too, because we've read so many articles that are so lengthy. Let'sRun.com, that's the only thing I don't really like about their articles. Their articles are pretty lengthy and they're not that short, so it's hard for me to review them for you guys when I'm reading like a 20-minute, when I'm reading an article to you for like 20 minutes, when I'm reading it to you and discussing it with you and all that kind of stuff. So shout out to BostonMagazine.com. Thanks so much for the article, and let's get straight to it. So this is kind of like the cover. So it says elite runners to watch at the 2022 Boston Marathon. I do wish they didn't write it in black because that's a little hard to see. But I just read it to you guys. So elite runners to watch at the 2022 Boston Marathon. And under that, the caption is, rumor has it that this will be the most competitive field in the marathon's history. Now, they are right, because this field is the most competitive field on record. The BAA, which is the Boston Athletic Association who puts on the race, says this field they have this year on both the men's and women's side are the most competitive fields in the marathon's history. So this is going to be a really, really exciting article to share with you guys. I am super excited to share with you. I will give you a little bit of insight in the next block on maybe some things I didn't mention in this article. But yeah, so let's get straight to it. I can't wait to read it with you guys. And this is by Spencer Bully. Thank you for her too. And the article is kind of nice because it's pretty recent too. On the day I'm filming this for you guys, I think it's April 11th, and this was published on April 8th at 9 a.m. So it kind of is all up to date on all the stuff that we have, and yeah, so all the statistics, all the newest updates will probably be in this article, which I liked as well. So thank you so much to BostonMagazine.com. Thank you so much for Spencer Bully, and let's get straight to it. So these are just a few pictures of, this is Perez Jepchirchir. As you guys see, I will move my camera for you guys. So this is Perez Jepchirchir. She is the Olympic champion from 2021 in the marathon. And this is, I can't remember his name, but his last name is Kipruto. He is actually the defending Boston Marathon champion on the men's side. So this is going to be a very exciting article to read, and I'm super excited to read it with you guys. First paragraph. The Boston Marathon's back, folks, as in fully back on schedule on the traditional marathon Monday in April. In the past few years, it's been in October, so it's finally back to April, which is super exciting, just like you remember it. And to mark the grand return to normalcy, organizers of the Boston Athletic Association say they're hosting the fastest and most decorated fields in race history for 2022. Now, in my opinion, this is probably the greatest way to come back, because after 2 years of having it in October, they had to run virtually. They didn't make as much money. They lost millions and millions of dollars. They said, you read articles and you read stats. They say the BAA lost millions of dollars by just not having the race, because they couldn't have the expo. They couldn't charge as much because it was virtual. So I think coming back with the fastest and most decorated men's and women's fields in history is the greatest way to come back, because first of all, you're not only going to get the greatest runners on the elites and just regular-wise, but you're also going to get the most spectators. So they're going to come and they're going to buy stuff and they're going to do all this stuff. They're going to spend money. And first of all, the BAA is making millions, but the city's making even more. So I think it's a great way for them to come back in 2022. Paragraph 2. From the looks of the track records the runners are bringing, it's hard to argue with them. When the race kicks off Monday, April 18th, spectators will get a front row seat to a slew of Olympians, world record breakers, some local names you might recognize, and yes, some former marathon champions both in Boston and cities around the world. Now, let's go back. If you're a spectator at the Boston Marathon, you're getting a front row seat for Olympians, world record breakers, local names, still elites, former marathon champions in both Boston and other cities around the world. Once again, this ties into this. They're getting the best field in marathon history, and I think it's only going to make the marathon more popular, right? You're thinking Olympians. You have Olympic champions. You have world record holders. If Olympians would be, even local runners, that's one thing on its own. If you have local professional runners, people are going to see it. Olympians, that's even more so. World record breakers, that can top it off. If you had nothing else, that would be it. But no, they also have former Boston Marathon champions and former major city marathon champions, which are the 6 major marathons around the world, the most famous marathons ever. So to come back, this is such a flex on everyone else. Like, they have Olympians, they have world record breakers, They have marathon champions in all cities around the world. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better reputation, and this is only going to give the marathon more reputation because if they have all these guys coming, I mean, imagine how many good runners they're going to attract in the future years if this continues to happen and the elite fields continue to grow and get faster and faster and faster and faster. We'll talk about Eliud Kipchoge's plan to come to Boston next year, but that's a different story for a different time. Paragraph 3. Sadly, 3 standouts will not be participating this year. Now, this is the part that is devastating, and you guys are going to really want to hear. On the men's side, Kenyan, but he's really Ethiopian. They had just made probably a typo mistake. Ethiopian Kenny Sibakele, who has come within 2 seconds of being the world record marathon time set by Eliud Kipchoge in the 2018 Berlin Marathon, announced he was pulling out on April 5th. Now, this was devastating to all of us. Me especially. I was thinking about getting videos for you guys. I was going to get videos of Bekele running. I was going to get to see Bekele run in person, and I was possibly going to get to meet Bekele. Now, I'm not going to get that chance. And the thing is, this might have been Bekele's last year at Boston, because as being about 39 years old, I think, almost 40 years old, he's probably not coming back to the major city marathons much longer. So I thought I was going to get to see him this year, but I may never get to see him again, which is the most devastating part of this, because I was thinking about getting videos for you guys and posting all this stuff for you guys, and now I'm not going to get that. Within just 2 weeks to go before his first Boston Marathon. And this was his first Boston Marathon, too. So everyone in the United States was looking forward to come see him run, and now we're not going to be able to. Thaddeus Ikaru, a champion in the Milan and Honolulu marathons, who was also from Kenya, again, Kenenisa Bekele was from Ethiopia, but has dropped out as well. And the women's elite runner Sarah Hall, an American who holds the 3rd fastest time in marathon history in U.S. women's history, has recently set the American record for the half marathon, has announced too she will be skipping the race. Now, this I have never heard of the runner Chitu Ikara, but as a Milan and not Milan, but even as a Honolulu champion, the women's world record holder on the marathon in the women's side, Bridget Koski, she's like a 2 or 3 time winner of the Honolulu Marathon. So the Honolulu Marathon is a very, very competitive marathon. So that's super sad that he's dropping out of the race. I really would have wanted to see as many elites as I possibly could from Kenya and places around the world that I normally wouldn't get to see, obviously, because I'm not going to travel to Kenya to go see them. So I'd rather much see them. If they came here, I'm able to see them, but now I can't. And Sarah Hall, this was one I was really excited for because I was hoping to get pictures with Sarah Hall. I was maybe hoping to get some videos of her talking. Now, with her dropping out of the race, I'm like, this may be like, I mean, she's probably going to come back to Boston. She's from the U.S. She's actually from around here, my local area. Or she's from Flagstaff, Arizona. So she's from the U.S., so she'll probably come back to Boston. But I was so looking forward to seeing her this year, and that's just not going to happen, which I was so upset about because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited to meet all these elite runners, and especially Kenenisa Bekele, who was considered one of the greatest distance runners in history, or maybe even the greatest, has dropped out of the race. So yeah, I am super devastated that will be happening. Sadly, there are plenty of long-distance stars in the elite lineup for the 26th marathon. Here's what you should know as you follow along about this year's top talent. Now, we'll get into the runners in a second. So this is all the runners, the women and the men on the elite side for all nations. But yeah, so I mean, with them being out, Kenenisa Bekele, Ikura, and Sarah Hall, they're out. But that's not to say that this field is weak by any means at all. You have Molly Seidel, who's the Olympic bronze medalist from last year. You have Nell Rojas, who's returning. She was first American across the line last year. You have Perez Jepchirchir, who's the Olympic champion from last year, beat the world record holder. You have the defending Boston champion, Kipruto, who's also returning. He ran an amazing Boston Marathon last year. You have CJ Albertson, who's returning, who is he actually led for about 21 miles of the race last year. So you guys can see they dropped out, but this race is not short by talent by any means. Once again, we still would have loved to have them, but if they're out, I'd much rather have a talented field than not have a talented field at all. So I'm excited. So let's meet the women who will be competing in this year's Boston Marathon. So Perez Jepchirchir, again, the Olympic champion. I think she has a shot at breaking the world record. The world record is going to be hard for anyone, but I think she has the best shot of anyone. Home country Kenya. Best time is 2:17:16. That's really, really quick. What to know? Chepchirchir appears to be the favorite this year. That is true. I think she's the favorite, and most people do. Her appearance in Boston for the first time comes on the very fast heels of her gold medal winning performance at the 2021 Olympics, and her first place finish at the New York City Marathon just a few months ago. I forgot about New York, actually. If you guys would like to watch the Olympic women's marathon and men's marathon for that matter, I will link it down in the description below. And if I can find any stuff on New York, I will also link that down in the description below. But I forgot about New York. So she's a multiple-time major winner. She's an Olympic champion. She has one of the fastest times in history. I think she's on the top 10 all-time list. Again, not close, still like 3 minutes off of Koski's world record. But again, I mean, most people can't get even close to that. We were all surprised when Bridget Koski broke the world record. So Perez Jepchirchir, I think, leads as the favorite here. But again, we have some really other stunning women. Jocelyn Jepkosgei, who has been one of the greatest marathoners over the past few years, has kind of gotten overshadowed a little bit by her Kenyan teammates, but is still an amazing marathoner. So Jocelyn Jepkosgei, home country Kenya. I think she actually trains with Jepchirchir or something. One of them, either Jepchirchir or Koski. But home country Kenya, best time 2:17:43. So you can see Perez Jepchirchir had 2:17:16. She has 2:17:43. So they're not that far off with PBs. So they're pretty close together. What to know? If her performance in London is any indicator, she is also one to watch. She finished in 2:17:43, the fastest time of anyone in the world. She also won the New York City Marathon in 2019. Now, the New York City Marathon in 2019 was really, really hotly contested. I mean, Jeffrey Kamoro won it in 2019. He's one of the greatest half marathoners in history. So for her to win the New York City Marathon, once again, another major marathon winner, and I mean, she performed really well in London. I think that was 2021, I think they said. Or they're probably referring to 2021. But I mean, if she's competed in 2 major marathons, she's won one. I know it was in 2019, but she still won it. So I definitely think Jocelyn Jepkosgei has a chance for a win. Detugu Edesmura, home country Ethiopia, best time 2:17:58. What to know? She's about to run her first Boston Marathon, so we don't really know what she can run, but she's no stranger to long-distance victories, having finished first in the Amsterdam Marathon in 2019. Now, Amsterdam is another one that's really hard. I was about to say Kipchoge won Amsterdam, but he won Rotterdam. But yeah, so that was an amazing race by Kipchoge, but aside of Kipchoge, he's not in this race right now. We're not talking about him. Once again, amazing athlete, but yeah, so she's about to run her first Boston Marathon. So this can be quite scary if you don't know what comes for you, because those hills in the Boston Marathon can be they can be taxing if you don't know what's coming for you. So she looks like she's a very good athlete. I mean, she won Amsterdam in 2019. But yeah, so Boston is quite different. So if you run your first Boston Marathon, I don't know, you might have to be a little bit experienced with it. But, I mean, Perez Jepchirchir is running her first Boston Marathon. So I guess, and she leads as the favorite, so I guess anything's possible. Edna Kiplagat, who has been one of the greatest marathoners, she's actually a double Berlin champion, which is a world major marathon, so she has an incredible resume on her. Basically has been a full-time marathoner, but yeah, so Edna Kiplagat, home country Kenya. You can see Kenyans and Ethiopians basically dominate this marathon scene. Best time 2:19:50, so not quite as fast as the others, but I think she's a bit older as well. What to know? If you've been following the Boston Marathon elite runners, you'll surely recognize her name. She won in 2017, so that proves that she has a major marathon win under her belt at Boston, so she's a very experienced veteran, and finished just shy of first in 2019 and 2021. So she finished, they're probably referring to second, but she's won major medals for 3 times now. And again, she's a double Berlin champion. She's had an incredible marathon resume. I think she's an Olympian as well. So I am really excited to see her perform. Once again, a veteran on this course. She has won it already. So yeah, I'm really excited to see her perform. This is one that everyone will love, and everyone's going to know her name. If you have followed the marathon for any years any years from 2018 and above, you'll know this woman's name. Des Linden, home country USA go. Best time 2:22:38. So you can definitely see she's not as fast as the Kenyans, but the Kenyans have absolutely dominated the marathon scene, so I wouldn't expect it to. What to know? Michiganer Des Linden captured Boston's attention back in 2018 when she pulled off a victory at the notably rainy and dreary Boston Marathon. That's an understatement. The Boston Marathon was basically a tsunami that day. it was basically a tsunami that day. It was so rainy and so cold. The first American woman to do it since 1985, so she's no stranger to the spotlight at all. Can she do it again this year? Now, Des Linden finished second in 2011 by 1 second. She has run Boston, I think, 6 or 8 times by now. So she is a veteran. She knows everything on this course. She knows where the water stops are. She knows where the hills are. She knows where you should pick it up or slow it down. She knows everything about this course. So I think Des Linden has a very, very nice chance to finish pretty high. Again, she is also older, like Edna Kiplagat. But again, I mean, she won in 2018, so I can't rule her out, and she did it. She's the first woman to do it since 1985, so you can't rule her out. Molly Seidel, home country, USA, best time 2:24:42. I think that was the Olympics. What to know? What a hometown hero, sort of, to cheer for. Seidel was one to watch. The native Wisconsin who lived in the Boston area for a few years after signing a deal with Saucony, won the bronze at the Olympics this year and is ready to do her one-time hometown proud at her first ever Boston Marathon. Now, I didn't realize I forgot this was Seidel's first Boston Marathon. So she might have a little bit of trouble as well, because the Boston Marathon can definitely kill you. But, I mean, she won in the 110-degree, she won in like the 100-degree weather in Sapporo, Japan. So, at winning the bronze medal and in that heat, I think Boston is not going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be a piece of cake for her, but I think it's going to be easier than someone who's never run in those kind of conditions before. And I think not to top it all off, but our next one is Nell Rojas, home country USA, best time 2:27:12. What to know? If you're rooting for the USA this year, Rojas is a decent bet. The Coloradian, who followed in the footsteps of her dad, who was an all-Ivy runner at Harvard, was a top American finisher last year when she came in 6th overall. So Nell Rojas surprised us all when she came in 6th last year, and I had never really heard of Nell Rojas until last year, because she hasn't really come up on the radar, because she hasn't really been the great American marathoner. But I do think Nell Rojas has the chance to do really, really well this year. I even think that she can probably get on the top podium spot. Again, that is a big task because of the field size and the field caliber in this Boston Marathon. But I mean, I think Rojas has a really, really good chance to stand on the top 3 podium for the women overall. So I do think, and plus, I mean, she came 6th overall last year, so that's really, really good. And she went to Harvard, so she's super smart as well. Charlotte Purdue, home country UK, best time 2:23:26. What to know? The celebrated British runner is heading across the pond to her first marathon in Boston this year. Her 10th place finish in London back in October was nothing to sneeze at. Her time at the race made her the 3rd fastest marathoner in the country's history. So that's the United Kingdom's history. So I have never heard of Charlotte Purdue. She is a European, so I don't really hear of much Europeans except for like Mo and all those other guys who were there, Jakob Ingebrigtsen, all those guys. But a lot of European women marathoners haven't really showed up on my radar yet. But I think, by her accolades, she finished 10th in London, so top 10 finish in a major marathon. And again, there was nothing to sneeze at. So she looks like, and she's the 3rd fastest woman in UK's history. So I do think she can finish pretty high. I don't know if she'll get atop the overall podium, but I think she can probably finish in the top 10. Moving on to the men. Benson Kipruto, who is the defending champion from last year, I'm pretty sure. Home country is Kenya. Best time is 2:05:15. That's a pretty quick time for Boston. I don't know if you've ran it on Boston, but that's a pretty quick time. If you can run 2:05:15 on Boston, you're doing pretty well. What to know? Kipruto was hands down the men's runner to watch very closely this year. After all, he did finish 1st in the Boston Marathon just a short 6 months ago, a big leap from his 10th place finish in 2019. Now, as you guys can see, Kipruto made a huge jump from Boston in 2019 to 2021. He finished 10th in 2019. He won in 2021. So in just 2 years, he upped his place by 9 spots to the 1st place spot. And as you guys can see, they say he's hands down the men's runner to watch. I think Kipruto comes in here as the heavy favorite for the gold medal in this marathon, because I think he has the best chance. I think he can run the best time. He can withstand everything, and he's a defending champion. So I really do think Kipruto comes in here as the favorite, and I think if he's healthy and he's strong, he can do really well and probably stay on top of the podium again. Lawrence Cherono, home country Kenya, best time 2:03:04. What to know? Cherono also knows his ways around Boylston Street. he already has a Boston Marathon first place under his belt. He won in 2019, the same year he finished first in Chicago. So Cherono battled it out. If you guys didn't see that, I will link the video down in the description below. He battled it out with Lisa DeCisa the whole half mile down Boylston Street to his first Boston Marathon title. So he is no stranger to the Boston Marathon either. So I think Cherono also has a good chance. I think Kipruto has a better chance because I think Cherono has looked really good, but I think Kipruto is just that little bit better. I do think if Kipruto comes in this healthy, he will win and stand atop the podium again. But if Kipruto even comes in a little less healthy, as being the 2019 Boston and Chicago Marathon champions, two-time major winner, I think Cherono can sneak in there and possibly upset the Kenyans, or his teammate Kenyans' chance of victory. Lemi Berhanu, home country Ethiopia, best time 2:04:33. What to know? Berhanu claimed the title in Boston in 2016 after recovering from a series of injuries, but he's been trying to get back. He came closer in October when he finished second. So obviously, Lemi Berhanu has been one of I think he's a multiple-time Tokyo winner, actually. He is the fourth fastest man, I think he's the fourth or fifth fastest man in history over the marathon. As you guys can see, 2:04:33. That's an insane time. That's a really, really good time. I think he's only, I don't even think he's 30 yet. So that's really, really good. He has lifespan left on him. But he claimed Boston title in 2016, so he has definitely experienced that major marathon feeling of winning the race. He came in second last October, so I do think, like Cherono, if Kipruto or Cherono come in just a little bit off, he can definitely sneak in there. I do not think he will win the race. I think that Kipruto and Cherono are, if anything, if it comes down to a sprint finish, I think it's going to be Kipruto and Cherono, as of what I know right now. But I do think he can sneak atop the podium and maybe even finish in spot one. Jeffrey Kamworor, home country Kenya, best time 2:05:23. What to know? For a while, Kamworor was the fastest half marathoner of all time, holding the world record for the race for a year between 2019 and 2020. He got the legs for full marathons too. He won the New York City Marathon twice. Now, as I said, in 2019, he won the New York City Marathon. Kamworor is, I think he's considered, I know actually, he's considered one of the greatest half marathoners in history. But he can throw down a pretty good marathon, I have to say. He's a two-time New York City Marathon champion in 2019, and I think he won in 2018 or 2017 as well. I think it was 2017 and 2019, but it might have been 2018, I don't know. If you guys do know, comment down the live chat, I'd love to know. Not right now, but I'll read it afterward when it gets on YouTube. And once again, he held the half marathon world record for a year also. So he is definitely an athlete to watch. I think he can definitely challenge for the win. If not, he has flat speed like no one else in this race. So I think, if anything, if these guys can't keep up with him, he is gone by halfway, and he can definitely finish top the podium. Albert Career, who has been another amazing athlete. He actually trains with Eliud Kipchoge, I think. His home country is Kenya. Once again, that's not shocking at all. Best time 2:08:03. Not quite as fast as the rest of them, but can still get in the mix there. What to know? He did it in the Big Apple. Can he do it here? Career finished first in the New York City Marathon last fall and is hoping for a repeat just 6 months later right here. So I do think that Career can challenge. I don't think he's as high caliber as the likes of Kamworor or Kipruto or Cherono or even Lemi Berhanu, but I do think Career, as trained with Eliud Kipchoge, and he has played some pretty high marathons. He won New York in October of last year when I'm filming this for you guys. So I do think that he can definitely get in the mix and maybe even finish top the podium. Colin Benny, one of our favorites. Home country USA, best time 2:09:38. What to know? He's fast, he's competitive, and he's local. Benny is from Princeton, and he made a Wishet Regional High School proud last year when he finished as top American runner in the 2021 Boston Marathon. He has also recently told us about his favorite place to run in Boston, in case you want to train like a champion. So again, Benny, even he says he's fast, he's competitive, and he's local. Benny, I follow him on Strava, which is a running app. You guys can get it. I'll link it down in the description below. Benny has run some insane times before. He finished first for Americans at Boston Marathon last year. So I think that gets him a pretty good chance to finish first this year as well. I think that he I think he can run pretty well. I mean, I think it's going to be him and CJ Albertson who are going to fight it out for the first American spot, but I think he's just slightly down from CJ Albertson. But if he can get in there and he's in the mix, he can definitely be a threat to stand atop that podium. Now, last but not least for the men, our very favorite CJ Albertson, home country USA, best time 2:11:18. What to know? You may remember Albertson if you watched the race last year. He was the one way out in front of the elite men's pack for most of the race in 2021. But as we all know, you have to win the 26.2 to finish first, and ultimately he finished 10th. Let's see what the Californians got. Let's see what the Californians got this time around. Now, CJ Albertson is my favorite competitor out of all these competitors. I do want to see Kimura do really well, and I definitely want to see Kenisa do really well, Bekele. But CJ Albertson was so brave last year when he went out in Boston, and he just absolutely broke everyone. He destroyed everyone. It was insane. So I do think that if anything, CJ Albertson has the best chance to come top American. And if anything, if he is in contention with those elite Kenyans and Ethiopians, I think that his time to come, I think that he has a very, 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 very good shot to stand atop the overall podium this year, and not just the Americans, but also place pretty high overall over the whole race. Yeah, guys, so that's probably going to do it up for this first block of the video, and now it's into our second block of the video. I'm going to tell you guys what my prediction for the men and women elite overall and men's and women's American is in the next block. But let's move into our next block of the video, and probably our final block of the video, reviewing what we've read and me telling you all about who I think the top men and women will be overall and for the Americans. Alright guys, the second and final block of the video, I'm going to be telling you guys basically, we're going to kind of be reviewing what we said and read in that article, and I'm going to be telling you guys who I think will finish first, second, and third, top three for the men's and women's overall and the men's and women's American sides. So as we read in that article, there was some amazing talent in the article. So we're going to start off with the top three men overall and the top three women overall, and then we'll move into the Americans overall for men and women. So as we said in the article, there is some amazing talent in that field. So many of those athletes have an amazing chance to win this race. But starting off with the women's elite field, I think the three best chances to win the race, I think that's going to go in this order. I think it's going to be Perez Jepchirchir, and I'm going to give you the times I think they'll run as well. I think she's going to run 2:20. I think she's going to run a time of 2:20:35. Then you're going to have Molly Seidel finish, I think Molly Seidel can finish second in a time of 2:21:05, or between 05 and 10. And I think in third, let me think of who the Kenyans were. 1 second. I can't remember quite right now. But I think, let me go back to the article for a second. I'm looking at the article right now. And I think the third athlete who has the best chance is Edna Kiplagat at, I think she's going to finish third in 2 hours, 21 minutes and 55 seconds. So that's your top three women. Now moving on to the top three men. So it's going to go Perez Jepchirchir, Molly Seidel, and Edna Kiplagat. And again, they're all going to be under 2:22, I think. These are all predictions. Moving on to the men's elite side. I think that Jeffrey Kamoro is going to finish first in a time of 2:05:05. I think second to him is going to be Kipruto in 2:05:30. And I think third is going to be Lemi Berhanu in 2:05. I think the third is going to be Lemi Berhanu in 2:06:05. So that's my predictions for the top three men. It's going to go Jeffrey Kamoro. It's going to go, who was it? I can't remember his name now, or Kipruto, Benson Kipruto, and it's going to go in third. We are going to have Lemmy Berhanu, and they're all going to be under 206. They're going to be right around 206. The highest time I think is going to be Lemmy Berhanu at 206.05. Moving on to the men's moving on to the women's American side. Now, I'm excluding Molly Seidel because I think she can finish top a podium overall, so I am excluding her from the drawing board in the Americans. So, I think for the Americans, I think first is going to be Nell Rojas in a time of 2:24.02. Or no, sorry, not 2:24.02. I think she's going to run 2:24.10. I think second for the Americans is going to be Des Linden at 2:25.01. I think she's going to run 2:25 flat. And if there's any other women in the field who are, I think those are the only two Americans who I don't think will finish top of the podium just regularly. So that's going to be it. So for your American women, you're going to have let me remember this for a second. You're going to have Nell Rojas at 2:24.10, and you're going to have Des Linden at 2:25 flat. Moving on to the American men, CJ Albertson. I think the first athlete who's going to come through is CJ Albertson at 2:0. I think she's going to come through at 2:10. I think he's going to come through at 2:10.10. I think second is going to be Colin Benny, who's going to come through in 2:10.30. I think he's going to come through in 2:10.30. And I don't think there are any other Americans in the field. There are not. So it's going to be CJ Albertson at I think it's 2:20. No, it's 2:10. It's 2:10.10, and I think it's going to be Colin Benny at 2:10.30. So those are your top women's and men's overall, and top men's and women's American. I really do hope I get these predictions somewhat right. I could be totally wrong. I might not be, but I have no idea. I am super excited to watch this race, and yeah, those are my predictions for you guys. And moving on to our second thing we're going to discuss in this video, some stuff we talked about in the article. Now, first off, greatest field ever assembled for a Boston Marathon. I did not think, and in my lifetime, that I would be alive to see the greatest field assembled for the Boston Marathon. And here I am sitting here in my bedroom chair, at my desk, telling you guys that I am so excited to see this amazing, amazing, amazing field of caliber runners just absolutely battle it out on the streets of Boston and Massachusetts. This is going to be so much fun, and never in my life would I have thought that I would be alive to see the greatest field in Boston Marathon history. Well, there you go. My wish just came true, and I'm going to try to get some great videos to you guys, some great pictures. I am so excited to have an amazing Boston weekend with you guys. If you guys have saw, I have posted, I think if they went up for you, only if they went up, comment down in the live chat if they did, but if they went up for you, at the time of filming this, I haven't done it yet, but if they went up for you, I think that I posted every single day, our day at the expo, our day on Saturday, and our day on Sunday, and as I'm having this preview for you on Sunday, either Sunday morning, Sunday midday, or Sunday night, I am basically previewing all this stuff for you guys. So I really do hope you enjoyed those uncut videos that I didn't do any editing for, and I just posted them on YouTube for you guys. Yeah, so that's probably going to do it after that. As we talked about, greatest field in Boston Marathon history. We have probably the greatest American and overall field in Boston Marathon history, so that is super fun. Sad stuff. Sarah Hall and Kenny Sabakele, and I think the other athlete is Tukey, something like that. They're not in the race. Now, I think I'm most devastated about Kenny Sabakele and Sarah Hall, because those are the ones I seriously wanted to see. Sarah Hall, you got to give it to her. She was almost an Olympian. She had She is the American record holder in the half marathon. Her husband, actually, Ryan Hall, is the American record holder in the half marathon for the men. So the Halls family holds both American records of the half marathon. In Kenny Sabakele, he was considered the greatest distance runner of all time. The guy's a 4-time Olympic gold medalist. He's a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. He's a 4-time Olympic medalist. He's an 11-time cross-country champion over the cross country course over the 10K distance. So just not see them both run is so devastating. But I mean, again, as we saw, there is some really, really good caliber in this field. So I am so excited to share all my thoughts with you guys as this race happens this weekend. Yes, that's probably all I have to say for that. You guys, so that's probably going to do it up for the second and final block of the video, and that's probably going to wrap it up for today's video. Alright guys, and I really do hope you enjoyed today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed listening to me preview for you guys the Boston Marathon overall, and the men's and women's elite fields for the overall and the Americans, and telling you how I think the race will play out and who I think will come in overall and for the Americans. I really did have so much fun going with you guys and sharing my opinions with you guys. It is so much fun to try to guess all this stuff with you guys because I have no idea. I mean, my opinion, my things, my predictions might be spot on. They might be totally wrong. So it's just fun to go and predict so that after the race I can look back and say, or during the recap when I film it for you guys, I'll be like, oh yeah, so these are my predictions in the first video. These are my predictions in the last video. So yeah, I am super excited for this Boston Marathon tomorrow. I think this is going up for you guys Sunday, the day before the Boston Marathon. So I am super excited for this to go up and for the Boston Marathon to happen tomorrow. Again, stick around for more great videos from Boston. I'm sorry the video was a little bit long today. It's hard to make these videos short because I did think the article was really short, but I think it was me who tried to explain all the athletes to you guys, and I was talking to you and all that kind of stuff. So I apologize for the video being longer. You can always split it up if you need to, but make sure you watch till the end, make sure you watch till the end to make sure you see all the predictions, and watch it before the race, because if what you watch it after, it's not going to be really predictions anymore. So make sure you watch it before the race goes off. You guys, so hope you enjoyed that. I would love to see you guys at the Boston Marathon. If any of you have seen the channel and you guys know me, you can come over to me, say hi, maybe I'll be glad to meet you guys. And so if you see me anywhere around the Boston Marathon, come over, talk to me. I'd love to meet you guys. And so it was super fun to just go over. Maybe I can meet you for the first time, whether you see me in a race or you just see me walking around or looking at something. Don't hesitate to come up and take a picture with me. Or maybe I would love to just meet you guys. And so I would love to meet you all. You guys, hope you enjoyed that. Stick around with this quote, and you guys are going to love it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have fun. Keep running. Don't hesitate to come over to me if you see me at the Boston Marathon. I will link the Boston Marathon info down in the description below, so all the info you need. I will link the article down in the description below, so if you guys want to go check it out, please do. And so that's probably gonna have to say for that. Once again, stick around with this quote, and you guys are going to love it. I'm gonna try to make it about a Boston Marathon athlete, maybe Bill Rogers, I don't know. You guys will have to stick around for the end of the video for that. But yeah, so I hope you guys really enjoyed that. So I hope you enjoyed that. And that's probably going to do it for that. You guys, so I really do hope you enjoyed that. Stick around. Why do I keep repeating myself? It's so much. Stick around with this quote, and you guys are going to love it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have fun. Keep running. Don't hesitate to come see me at the Boston. Don't hesitate to come up to me and ask me a few questions. Maybe take a picture, and I'd be glad to meet you guys. Make sure you go check out the info for the Boston Marathon in the description below. And peace out, guys. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the video. So for today's video, I would say, hope you enjoyed the last episode of you guys about the, I don't even know. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the video. So for today's video, I did say, hope you enjoyed the last episode of you guys about, I don't even know. Alright guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I really do hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about all about, the Boston Marathon elite fields for the men's and women's, marathon and the American